Hi there everyone, GuardianE here, and summer fun is on the horizon. Welcome to another reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes, and tonight we are getting the reveal of the next set of seasonal units. Some spicy swimsuits sure to come. Batch 1 of 2 summer banners, as is tradition in Fire Emblem Heroes, and we've got the silhouettes pulled up here. Probably some of the easiest silhouettes to figure out in recent memory. On the right there, almost certainly going to be that gorgeous man Claude, and then on the left, that does look like it may be Micaiah. Since it does seem like we are getting more Three Houses this go around, I'm gonna throw the name in the hat here. I would love to see a Summer Petra. That's probably my current big wish from Three Houses, but let's see what they've got in store for us. I've got the trailer pulled up here. We'll watch it together for the first time, react live, and then watch it again to really take a closer look at the units and their art. So let's get started. Alright, let's get into this. Wait for the title to leave. Alright. Here we go. Sharing a summer to remember. Ooh, summer is a special time for gacha. Let's take a look. Oh, who is this? Oh, really? Sky Blue Lion. Look at that.
It's not often I can forget about fighting.
Dimitri's looking good. Can't deny. He's got that blue cape, too. Very suits him very well. He still has Atrocity for the B slot. Okay. So I guess, yeah, that is going to be Micaiah, Wavecrest Maiden. She looks more distressed than I would think in her attacking art. I like that it's facing the camera or the player a little bit more than you might seem in a lot of these. Moonlight Drop, Maiden Solace. So she's got a lot of the premium skills that Micaiah is known to have. I like that animation, the sprite attacking animation with the bubbles. That's cool. I like it. All right. And this, of course, is going to be Tropical Trouble Claude.
Heroes around here getting a little rowdy.
He looks a little on the young side, I have to say. He still looks good. Claude always looks good. It also looks like he's going to be the 4-star special unit, 4-star focus unit of the banner, which is pretty remarkable.
Ride the wave.
So he's going to be a flying... Was that a flying dagger unit? Oh, okay. Edelgard, Sun Empresses. That art is beautiful by Kakage.
Come on, I'll show you.
Really phenomenal. Okay, they are an armored sword unit. Regal Sunshade, Glimmer, Ideal Raging Storm, Assault Troop 3 for the C slot. That's certainly interesting.
I'll face it head on.
Okay, so some teleport shenanigans. I can already see harmonized skill. Resonant Shields, and bonus doubler. It's a lot of effects.
Queens of the seas, do not doubt it.
No, they look very nice. They look very nice.
Swim.
No Petra, unfortunately. Well, maybe as a freebie unit. Who knows? Let's see.
I do not play games.
Yeah. Okay, Paralog Story, Summer Vacation. The art all across looks really solid. And oh, is that Alincia as a flying blue bow user? It seems like it. Claude is definitely going to be the 4-star focus of the banner. And of course, they are just reiterating that FEH users are going to be able to spark on this banner if they so choose, and get a Celestial Stone for their troubles. So once again, no Petra, unfortunately. It's a damn shame, but maybe I should have expected that if they were going to have Claude on the banner, they would probably have the other house leaders, because not having them would probably make some people upset. People are very passionate about their house, so I can understand that on some level. The art across the board seems very, very solid. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and rewind, take a closer look at these characters, see if this is a banner that I think ultimately is worth pulling on. So here we have Summer Dimitri with his chiseled features and stoic pose. Really has a statuesque physique overall. You can see all of that detail in the shading on his torso and his chest. I do really like the straps and the sort of makeshift cape over the shoulder. It has a water effect at the bottom, which is a really nice touch, and actually the white fur on the lining kind of resembles like sea foam that you would get from the wave, so I think it's really thematically nice. I do like the fact that he's rocking some pseudo wetsuit pants. It actually is really fitting with the rest of his design, along with his visor up top. And once again, he still has those weird Fire Emblem male sandal gladiator shoes that apparently all male swimsuit characters are supposed to have. I don't know why, but at least this time he has the wetsuit over top of the calf portion of it, so it looks a little bit more normal, I would say. But yeah, no, he looks good, and the art is actually really detailed. Really great for him, and he is going to be a cavalry axe user, which is of course going to open up Dimitri emblem a little bit more to have a little bit more color weapon variety. So he's got Unyielding Ore, which is a 16 might weapon, Kanto Remainder +1, has a killer slaying effect, and at start of combat has an HP threshold, gets +5 to all stats during combat, and if bonus is active on foe, or if unit speed is greater than foe's speed +10, unit attacks twice. So he has a brave effect. Okay, so that's definitely an odd and sort of cornucopia of different abilities that he has built into this weapon. The Kanto Remainder +1 is always going to be good. Doesn't matter if there's Kanto control out there. It's just always going to be great in any instance where that's not available. Killer Slaying Effect is very, very good, getting +5 to all stats, and then 2 conditions in order for him to have his Brave effect. So either there's a bonus active on the foe, which is outside of your control, but that's a relatively common thing to happen, and you can strategically use it in a way to target certain enemies that have a bonus on them so that he gets that Brave effect, especially since he has extended range as a cavalry unit. And then if unit speed is greater than foe speed +10, unit attacks twice. So he could actually take advantage of Phantom Speed, potentially, because that's going to use those bonus quote-unquote stats as part of the speed check. So that's actually, this could be, depending on what his speed stat is, it could be a decent use of that particular seal. Glimmer for the special, attack speed, catch 4, very, very good for the A slot, atrocity for the B slot. At start of combat, if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 50%, deals damage equal to 25% of unit's attack, and after combat inflicts -5 to all stats and special cooldown count +1 on target and foes within 2 spaces of target through their next actions. Yes, Atrocity is a menace. It is very, very strong. And speaking of menaces, Speed Defense Menace for the C slot. At start of turn, if unit is within 4 spaces of a foe, inflicts Speed Defense -6 on nearest foes through their next actions, and grants +6 to speed and defense to unit for 1 turn. So obviously that is going to help him to proc the doubling effect, or the Brave effect, for the Unyielding Ore. The catch is also going to help enable that. Atrocity is just going to boost his damage output, as well as reduce the enemy's ability to gain special charge, also reinforce the stat differential. So really an assortment of very powerful things. The fact that, and of course he has Glimmer on a 2-turn cooldown. With the Killer Slaying effect, it'll be a 1-turn cooldown, which of course means that if he does get his Brave effect, he is going to proc that Glimmer on the first initiation. And honestly, getting that Brave effect doesn't really seem like it'll be that difficult. If he has some reasonable speed, which I'm guessing that he probably does, it's definitely going to be his prerogative to stack on the speed boosts in order to ensure that he gets that Brave effect. But again, irrespective of his speed, he'll get a Brave effect if the enemy has a bonus as well. So he has another out there, even if his speed is not going to be up to snuff against a particular enemy. So lots of options here, and he's going to be really deadly. So next we have Summer Micaiah, who is going to be a colorless tome cavalry unit this time. So not a new color for her per se, but that combined with the movement type does make it relatively unique for a Micaiah emblem. I think the art look for her looks actually really great. I like the bold color choice for the swimsuit, the red with the actual blue as well. And obviously, they're very, very compatible with each other. And the fact that they stand out across her really fair skin and the light color of her hair. I really do like the ruffle design of the skirt as well as the collar of the 2-piece swimsuit. The matching sandals look very nice. I believe that's a hibiscus in her hair. There's some sort of a flower in her hair that does really fit and match the tropical theme. And then of course you have Yoon on her shoulder and on her in her rightful place there. So yeah, no, I think Micaiah looks pretty good. So Micaiah has Moonlight Drop for her weapon, 14 might, effective against armored and cavalry foes. Already strong, having dual weapon effectiveness against particular movement types. Whenever you can stack those, it's always a good thing. Killer Slaying effect, if unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants +6 to attack and res during combat, and following effects will occur based on the value of unit's res minus foe's res. If greater than or equal to 5 and less than or equal to 14, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. If greater than or equal to 15 and unit initiates combat, unit attacks twice. We have another Brave Cavalry Tome unit. I mean, they keep pumping them out. They're not going to be special anymore. I mean, I guess they really aren't special anymore. But she has the added effect of weapon effectiveness against armored and cavalry units, the Killer Slaying effect, as well as, I mean, but Micaiah in general has that guaranteed follow-up attack as part of her weapon often. That's a very Micaiah thing to have. The Brave effect, if she has over 15 res over her opponent, is obviously something new. But again, in line with the fact that they're releasing so many cavalry units that have a Brave effect recently. Whatever, I mean, I don't love it. At the same time, I don't hate it, and it just feels kind of devoid of creativity because we're seeing it so often. Maiden Solace for the assist. It's Micaiah's kind of own unique assist. It converts penalties on target into bonuses and then neutralizes any penalty that remains and restores HP equal to current HP -1 and reduces units HP by amount stored. So actually has a lot of utility built into it. Actually pretty useful, especially on like Ether Raid defense and things like that. Moonbow for the special, attack res catch 4 for the A slot. That's going to be very good, especially helping her get that maximum res differential with her opponent. Prescience for the B slot, inflicts attack res -5 on foe during combat, and if unit initiates combat or a foe's range is equal to 2, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30%. It's certainly a solid B slot skill. Again, something that Micaiah has kind of carried with her in her different incarnations more recently. So, makes sense that she has it. I could see in certain instances people swapping this out for a Kanto skill, just because the damage reduction isn't really going to come into play if she's going to be Brave affecting and nuking everything, which is, I think, is what her goal ultimately is. But in the instance where that dodoesn't pan out, Prescience could definitely be very useful to have. So as far as Micaiah as a whole, she's going to be very solid. I don't think you can have a Brave Cavalry Tome unit that has dual effectiveness and not be solid. So that alone, I think, is going to make her very, very strong, if not like the most creative unit out there. She's definitely going to do damage. So next we have Claude as a flying blue dagger unit, and that is definitely going to diversify Claude emblem quite a bit. So that's very, very nice for Claude fans. And I'm a fan of Claude. I think he's great, and he certainly has some of his boyish charm here. This feels like a little bit of a young incarnation of him, though. Like even for an Academy phase Claude, he feels a little young. I don't know if it's just me. That being said, certainly a strapping young lad. He has a popsicle in one hand. I really do like the stunner shades that he has. Really complements his green eyes very, very well. And speaking of colors, I absolutely adore his swimming trunks, the cloak behind him, as well as the sash. Definitely pays tribute to his roots. I think it's great with the golds and the greens and the tassels underneath. Looks great, as well as the sort of diamond pattern on the side of the trunks too. All comes together, and somehow Claude managed to avoid the stylish faux pas of the Fire Emblem like gladiator sandals that everybody else has. So good for Claude. Good for Claude. So obviously, as mentioned before, Claude is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. That means he is going to be much, much easier to get than the others. But he does come with his own unique weapon. So Frozen Delight, it's a 14 might dagger, enables Kanto Remainder. So he is going to have a built-in Kanto to his weapon, despite being a 4-star unit. Has a Killer Slaying effect. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants +6 to attack and speed. And also, if unit initiates combat and total bonuses on unit, plus total penalties on foe, is greater than or equal to 12, unit attacks twice? Really? What? So effect Dagger 7. So Claude managed to circumvent the whole, 4-star Curse and Doom, where they can sometimes have some lackluster skills or maybe sort of unfinished builds, that sort of thing. his weapon is as good as the other units that we've seen so far. He has a brave effect that he should be able to relatively easily put on himself if you build the unit in that capacity. Has a killer slaying effect, has Kanto, has a buff. I mean, these are all like premium, super premium things. Moonbow for the special, and he has Fallen Star for the B slot. If unit initiates combat, reduces damage from foes' first attack by 80% during combat, and after combat, grants Fallen Star to unit and inflicts gravity on target and foes within one space of target. Speed defense rain 3 for the C slot. He is actually going to be a source of speed defense rain 3 at 4-star. That's amazing. That's amazing. I think that the value of him alone, of getting copies of him just for more copies of speed defense rain 3, is actually pretty darn good. But then you're at that point you're weighing the odds of getting more rain skills or trying to build him to +10, because honestly I think he's really great for a 4-star unit. I mean, again, I think the fact that what's kind of creating a bias for me here is how easy it's going to be to get him as the 4-star focus unit compared to the other units on this banner, while he still has completely decked out skills. I mean, yeah, he's missing an A-slot skill. Whatever. I mean, you can get a multitude of A-slot skills. You could even run a budget A-slot skill on him, and it would be totally fine because he's going to get carried by his other ability. So definitely a very welcome surprise for this Claude, and Claude fans can rejoice because not only is he going to be a relatively easy merge project, he's also going to tear it up with his skills. And finally, here we have the harmonic duo of Edelgard and Altina. They are going to be an armored sword unit, which is pretty nice for Edelgard fans. For Edelgard Emblem, that's going to certainly help to diversify that team a whole lot. Altina has pretty much always been a sword unit, so I don't think that's going to really help in Altina Emblem on that front, unfortunately. But the art looks great. Micaiah always does a great job. Really bright, vibrant, beautiful colors. Love the multiple colors in the umbrella, the vibrant red in Edelgard's one piece, as well as kind of the ruffles coming down the chest, as well as on the side, the shawl that she has. Love the tropical flowers that's just kind of peppering the outfits as well. One's in Altina's hair, one's on the umbrella, a couple in their hair. Altina sort of wearing a wide brim hat is very cute. It looks like she's packing some luggage. She's got some bananas hanging off of her hip. Very stylish swimsuit design, very sleek, very attractive. Certainly matches the rest of the colors on her. Both of them look great, and they look like they're ready for some fun in the sun, and who can blame them? So we have Regal Sunshade as a 16 might sword, killer slaying effect. Have we heard this story before? At start of combat, HP threshold +6 attack to unit, inflicts -6 attack on foe during combat, reduces damage from foe's first attack during combat by 40%, and also if there are X or more foes within 3 columns or 3 rows centered on unit attacks twice. Huh. X equals 1 when there are less than or equal to 2 foes on the enemy team. X equals 2 when there are 3 to 5 foes, and X equals 3 when there are greater than or equal to 6 foes. So as long as they're within 3 columns and 3 rows centered on the unit, which is actually a pretty wide range overall, that actually does effectively capture a lot of the map. And it's very weird. I mean, so the condition is really based on enemy placement, because it scales with the number of enemies that are on the opposing side. So it's fair in that respect. It's just rather interesting. I just feel like this isn't going to be that difficult of a threshold to meet in most instances because it scales with the enemy party size, and the area of effect is huge. So you can kind of maneuver how you need to in order to fulfill it. So it's very bizarre. I mean, it's a bizarre condition. It's unique. It's something we haven't seen before. So I like the fact that it's interesting and unique. It's based on enemy positioning, which is kind of fascinating. I mean, the other sort of interesting effect here is that the unit that she's attacking counts as one of the foes. So really, it's even easier to meet this condition. Now, one nice thing about it is that if you're facing off against an enemy, Summer, Edelgard, and Altina, you can probably manipulate them so that they're not going to meet this condition anymore. So that's kind of nice, at least from that perspective. But otherwise, I feel like the condition is going to be super easy in a player's hands to activate. Glimmer for the special, attack defense ideal 4, very, very strong. Raging Storm for the B slot, as a reminder, if unit initiates combat, grants another action to unit if unit is not adjacent to an ally after combat. Once per turn, if a skill moves unit after combat is used, references a unit's position after that movement occurs. If foe uses Dragonstone or Beast damage, and unit is not adjacent to an ally, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack during combat. So once again, positioning dependent, of course, right? She can't be adjacent to an ally when she's completed her combat, but if she's not, then she gets a refresh for herself, and then a brave effect once again to move again. Now they are an armored unit, so they have sort of more restricted range as far as movement capability. But let's take a look, because this C slot skill, Assault Troop 3. At start of turn, if unit's HP is 100% or any foe is within 3 columns or 3 rows centered on unit, grants charge to unit for 1 turn. Charge. Unit can move up to 3 spaces in any cardinal direction. Cannot move through foes, terrain that blocks movement, or effects of skills like Obstruct. Granted movement treated as warp movement. Really? Again, this 3 column, 3 rows thing. So now I see why it was part of her weapon. It synergizes obviously with her weapons condition as well. But yeah, I mean, so that's the effect that we saw earlier when we were watching the trailer through completely, and it showed the extended warp range movement of this Edelgard and Altina. It's from this Assault Troop, which I'm guessing is an armor exclusive C slot skill. If I would presume so. I'm not entirely sure. But that seems very good. That condition is very, very easy to meet. HP equal to 100%, so that means irrespective of positioning. But if any foe is within 3 columns or 3 rows centered on the unit, that would be the only instance in which you would want the extended range from a cardinal direction, right? The reason why you would want the extended range in a cardinal direction is in order to attack a unit that's in a cardinal direction. So it just kind of like fulfills its own... Yeah, I mean, that's kind of bonkers. I don't know. I just want to freeze frame to take a quick look at this attacking art as well. I think it's beautiful. Once again, Kakage doing a knockout job on these 2 ladies. They look gorgeous. Love the movement, the dynamic movement of the hair flowing behind them, as well as sort of the fluttering fabric. It's just so great as they're shifting forward. You get a little bit of an overhanging look of the shoulderless design of Edelgard's swimsuit. But everything from the shading, the muscle tone, the fabric, the colors, the movement, it's all just very, very charming. I really do like what they did here. The Harmonized skill grants attack +6, resonance shields, and bonus doubler to unit and allies from the same title as unit for 1 turn. Yeah, doubling up on the duo effects. Attack +6, that's fine. It's nothing terribly special. Resonant Shields is special, though, granting defensive boosts to the unit as well as preventing follow-up attacks, I believe, is what the Shields does, at least for the first combat, which is going to be very good for them because they have that damage reduction in place as well, which is going to affect the first hit. So... they're definitely going to enjoy that, and bonus doubler, why not? Let's just toss bonus doubler on there as well to increase the effects, and of course that's going to further enhance attack +6 that she gets from the Harmonized skill as well. So yeah, I mean, it's not the most earth-shattering Harmonized skill out there, but it's definitely kind of piling on the effects, and powerful effects at that. That's just going to enhance what she already does very well. So, starting on the 17th of June and extending to August 8th, so you actually have almost 2 full months to summon on this banner. So just bear that in mind. You don't have to be in a rush here, and you can actually wait to see what the next summer banner is going to be, because they want to have these 2 running concurrently. So I think that's the plan here, and that's why you have the extended month, just because I think both summer banners are probably going to end on the same day, which would be August 8th. But I mean, as a whole, this banner is really remarkable. You know, even where it's not the most original, like with Micaiah, she's still going to be a colorless tome brave unit that's cavalry. I mean, that's still very, very good. Even the 4-star focus unit of Claude is remarkable. Dimitri is a winner. I think the duo unit is also very, very strong. I think they're all great. I think they're all very, very good. And this is a very high-value banner, even for just getting copies of Claude. If you want to get, some fodder for one reason or another, it even has value there. But I will say that the characters are all pretty darn strong, in some cases very unique, and certainly fan favorites. So I'm certainly going to be going to the Spark on this banner. I think going for the duo unit myself personally, but I wouldn't mind getting copies of any of the units on the way there. I think it's a very, very strong banner. But let me know in the comments below what you think of the banner, what you think of the character choices, what you think of the skills and the banner as a whole, if you're going to be summoning for any of them or all of them. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching, for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, let's protect those skies.